Welcome back students. I am your geography teacher Vandana Joshi and you are watching SST Joule. In the previous video of chapter Water Resources, we have studied about the introduction of the water resources which are available in our country India, and also the various types of water resources in which we have studied the surface water, groundwater and the water which is available in the lagoons and the backwater. So in our today's video, we will study the demands of water, means where the water is required, like in the industries, in the irrigation activity and other domestic purpose. We will also study the deteriorating condition of the water resources and how we can conserve the water resources for our future. So let's see our today's video with our today's interesting topics. So today we will cover these three topics. At very first, we will see the topic water demands and utilization, in which we will see what is the demand of the water resources from the surface water and the groundwater, how it can be utilized into the various fields. Like irrigation for agriculture, we know that India is a country where the agriculture is conducted in very vast manner. So how the water is required for the agricultural activity through the rainwater, through the groundwater and also from the irrigation method. Then after that we will see the second topic of today's video, that is the deterioration of water quality, means how the quality of water is day by day going to be decreased and what are the reason behind the water pollution. And in the third topic of today's video, which is the last topic of today's video, there we will see the water conservation and the management, means in which we are going to study how we can conserve the water resources and how it can be developed for the further use by the development in the different type of water resources. So let's start our today's topic with the first topic, water demands and the utilization. Let's see the water demands and the utilization into the different sector. The water which is used in our country, generally it is divided into three categories, that is agricultural sector, industrial sector and the domestic sector. As the activity of our country, around 65% of Indian population is working on the agricultural activity. So around 89% of the surface water and 92% of the groundwater is generally used for the agricultural purpose, in which we can use the water which is used in the agriculture through the irrigation by canal and through the rainwater, through the tanks, rivers, ponds and other methods through which we are using the water in the agricultural activity. Whereas the industrial sector, generally the industrial sectors are also based upon the agricultural activity, but the water which is utilized in the industrial sector as compared to the agricultural activity is very less in amount. Here 2% of the surface water is generally used in the industrial sector and 5% from the groundwater is generally used in the industrial sector for the various activities. At the third point, the domestic purpose. Generally, the water which is used for the domestic purpose or the household works, that accounts only 9% of all the 100% water which is available in our country, and the 9% is of the surface water and around 3% groundwater is used for the domestic purpose. Now let's see through some pictures and some more introduction about the water utilization and the demands of water into the different sector. Now let's see what are the water demands and the utilization of the water resources in our country. So there are many projects which are going on in our country for the irrigation, and multi-purpose projects have been taken up. For example, Bhakra Nangal, Sardar Sarovar, Chambal Valley, Damodar Valley projects. So here India's water demand is dominated by irrigational needs generally. Secondly, the agriculture, already I told you, it required lots of water for irrigation, and other sectors like industries and the domestic sectors are also utilizing amount of water from the surface and the groundwater. Generally, the demand of water is there for the irrigation. Irrigation is needed because of spatio-temporal variability in rainfall in India, as it is not permanent. The rainfall which is happening in India, it's a seasonal rainfall in the monsoon season. So rest of the agriculture is depend upon the irrigation for which the water is required. Secondly, the large areas are dry, have deficient rainfall and drought prone. Winter and summer seasons are mostly dry in most parts, so irrigation is essential for farming in our country. Next is the break in monsoon requires irrigation in the rainier parts as well. We can say that water intensive crops also require more water like paddy, jowar and others. Here HYV seeds require assured water supply for optimum production, and we can say to increase production of crop to feed the growing population, irrigation is necessary to grow crops throughout the year, even in dry season. So here few areas like Punjab, Haryana and Western UP have less than 85% of net zone area under irrigation. Around 76% in Punjab and 51% in Haryana is irrigated through wells and tube wells, which are the example of the groundwater, ultimately leading to groundwater depletion in these states. Over withdrawal in states of Rajasthan and Maharashtra has increased fluoride concentration in groundwater, through which now the problems are occurring in the water resources. There are lots of problems in the water resources. Now let's see what are the problems. As you have seen, what are the demands of the water resources in our country into the various sectors. But after using that water, the quality of water is also going to be degraded. What are the reasons behind the degradation of the water quality, and how the condition of water resources is going to be deteriorate day by day? The sectors where the water resources are generally used. The sectors are using a lots of chemicals to improve the quality of their product and to get more and more economical benefits. For that, they are using the chemicals and different type of products, through which the quality of water is also going to be degraded. Here few points are there through which you may understand what are the reasons behind the deteriorating condition of the water resources. So first of all, the first is the industrial effluent are the reason behind the deteriorating condition of the water resources. How? Because to improve the quality of their product and goods, and to increase the production of their goods, the industries are generally using few chemicals, through which the effluents which are in the harmful condition are to be used by the industrial sector, and these effluents are making a deteriorating condition in the water resources, through which the quality of water is going to be degraded in the industrial sector. Second is the pesticides, the fertilizer, insecticides and other things which are generally used in the agricultural activity. These are also a kind of the chemicals which are used by the farmer to improve the production of their crops, to get more and more benefits in the economical field. So these chemicals, by using, they are deteriorating for the quality of the water. Not only for the water, also these are influencing very badly to the soil fertility as well. So these are also few parts through which the quality of water is going to be degraded, and also few things which are known as the sewage of the domestic purpose, through which the quality of water is also degraded. Now we will see the deterioration of the water quality in detail with some video and the picture. With increase in population, both demands and per capita availability are getting affected. Demand is increasing while availability is decreasing. Increasing pollution of groundwater through industrial effluents, agricultural pesticides, domestic sewage are also limiting the availability of usable water resources. Here, the water quality refers to the purity of water without unwanted foreign substances. It gets polluted by some toxic substance, which make it unfit for human use, as well as adversely affect the aquatic system and sometimes deep down and affect groundwater as well. Sometimes the depleting water resources may lead to social conflicts and disputes. It can be said that some certainty that the societies will witness demographic transition and some shift of population. So we know that in many areas the water scarcity is possibly to pose the greatest challenge on account of its increasing demand. Due to that, many type of dispute can be occur in that area where the areas are facing the water scarcity problem. Even in many areas, the overuse of groundwater resources had led to decline in its level, especially in Rajasthan and Maharashtra are facing the fluoride concentration of water. This practice has led to increase in concentration of arsenic in West Bengal and Bihar. The same factors in which the groundwater is used in a huge amount, it is increasing salinity in the soil of Punjab and Haryana. So people are facing a lot of problem in the water quality in many areas. Here we can say our country, India, faced many problems such as availability of water, quality of water, uses and how it can be managed. We can say the water resources are excess in some regions such as West Bengal, whereas it is deficient in other parts of the country like Rajasthan and peninsular India. So the water availability is not similar in all the portion of our country. The quality of water due to the population. The quality of water due to pollution is caused by domestic waste, industrial waste and chemical use in agriculture is decreasing day by day. The uses, or we can say the excessive use of the water resource in many parts of our country is also increasing the concentration of many type of chemicals like arsenic, salinity and fluoride in the water resources. Here we are not having a proper management for the water resource, through which the water is going to be degraded in its quality as well as in quantity. So what are the measures through which we can conserve the water resources? We know that the water is a resource which can be replenished or renewed by the nature through the process of the hydrological cycle. But it's a very long process, and the water resource which is available for the human being, that is in a sufficient amount. If there is a poor condition of the water resources and the things are influencing to the quality of the water resources, so what can be the safety measures to manage the water resource and how we can conserve these water resources by our activities? Here there are many policies which are taken as a step by the government to improve the quality of the water resources and to conserve these water resources. For example, we can say the reservoirs and the dams are also a good example to conserve and manage the water resources. Also, many policies, out of which the important policy that is known as the National Water Policy 2002, which was started by the government to conserve the water resource. And also in 1992, Earth Summit was there to conserve the resources, and which the step was taken by the people that was known as the sustainable development. So there are a lots of safety measures which were taken by the government as well. In our country also there are a lots of policy and the measures through which we can conserve the water resource, and also we can manage the available water resource, where through one resource we can change it into a golden chance to make a lots of uses of one proper channel. So now let's see what are the measures which were taken by the government to conserve and manage the water resources. It is imperative to efficiently conserve and manage the increasing demand for fresh water and its declining availability. Besides developing various water saving technologies and methods, efforts should be made to prevent pollution. Watershed development, rainwater harvesting, water recycling, reuse, and other methods should be adopted for supplying in the long run. Here, one major thing, it is the prevention of water pollution. So the water which is available for the resources and the quantity and the quality which is degrading day by day is to be increased. The pure water quality is retained in less polluted areas. In plains, it is used intensively for domestic, agricultural, industrial purpose, which ultimately creates different pollutions. So, the Central Pollution Control Board, in collaboration with State Pollution Control Board, monitors water quality of national aquatic resources at 507 stations. Their data reveals. So here we can say the major pollutions are organic and the bacterial contamination, the toxic metals, fluoride and nitrates, along with agricultural, domestic and other industrial effluents. The rivers which are polluted, these are Yamuna, Sabarmati, Gomti, Vaigai, Musi and Ganga. And what are the measures taken by the government? That is legislative provision in water, which is also known as the Prevention and Control of Pollution Acts 1974 and the Environmental Protection Act 1986 were enforced, though not implemented effectively. Then the Water Chess Act 1977, meant to reduce pollution also was ineffective. So here a need to generate public awareness about importance of water and impact of water pollution. Only public participation can help reduce pollution. So how we can reduce, recycle and reuse of water? To improve fresh water availability, it is imperative to promote recycle and reuse of water. Number 2, we can say use of lesser quantity and lesser quality water. Reclaimed wastewater should be an attractive option for industrial cooling purpose, fire fighting, etc. In urban areas, used domestic water can be used for gardening, and this will ensure better quality water for drinking and cooking. There is enormous scope for replenishing water through recycling. When the measures and the policies which were taken by the government were ineffective, then one water policy was taken by the government in 2002, which is also known as the National Water Policy. That is an effective policy through which lots of measures can be taken to conserve the water resources. So here are some features of that water policy. The water policy which was taken by the government in 2002, that having the features: number 1, emphasize on the need for a national water framework law, comprehensive legislation for optimum development of interstate rivers and river valleys, amended of Irrigation Acts, Indian Assessment Act 1882. Number 2, second point is water after meeting the preemptive needs for safe drinking water and sanitation, achieving food security, supporting poor people dependent on agricultural for their livelihoods, and high priority allocation for minimum ecosystem needs be treated as economic good so as to promote its conservation and efficient use. Adoption strategies in view of climate change for designation and management of water resources structure. A system to evolve the benchmark for water use for different purpose, water footprints and water auditing be developed to ensure efficient use of water. Project financing has been suggested as a tool to incentives efficient and economic use of water. Water resources projects and services should be managed with community participation wherever the state's government or local government bodies decide, so the private sector can be encouraged to become a service provider in public-private partnership model to meet agreed terms of service delivery, including penalties for the failure. The efficiency of utilization in all the diverse uses of water should be improved. Here are few more measures which were taken by the government. You can see the pictures and also you can note down these points in your notebook. So students, here our today's topics which we have discussed are complete. In our next video of this chapter, we will study about the watershed management and the rainwater harvesting. Also, we will see some stories through which we become to know about the water resources management by the government. So for that, don't forget to keep watching SST Zone.